Hey everybody, I'm an author. My name's Eva L. Elasigue. I've been reading science fiction fantasy around Seattle and beyond for over a decade now. I've read at places like 2 Hour Transport, and I'm just here circulating. I've got a new publication coming out. I've written this trilogy, Bones of Starlight and science fiction fantasy. It's around, and you can find it. I've been at NorwestCon, and I'm reading to you from something that's coming out pretty soon. It's titled Elasielle176CE, and it was inspired partly by my Washington driver's license, which remixed my name when it remixed our names into Elasielle. It's an angelic name. As for myself.
I really tough line of getting in trouble.
Transmission of spark to a system. Light the lights, lamplighter. The heart beats with electricity. The brain sparks with electricity. The fingers move with electricity. Our bodies full of current, and our thoughts somewhere inside them, or around them, or touching them. A split particle may move its parts synchronously. Light, a wave, or a particle at the same time, sometimes an ingredient of current. Can currents in different places spell the same shapes? Can we cause them to do so with lines? Correctly placed marks and images of light? Can we make it in the shape of a smiley face? Happiness is freeing, creativity is empowering. Originality and initiative are often denied to those who are being kept under others' control. It is harder to rise in the weakness of misery. At times, the sight of a spark is reason enough to threaten a life, to take a life. It may happen anyway. Light, life, spark, death, any of it may happen anyway. Yet there may be no stopping an idea whose time has come, no matter how much blood is spilled and secrets buried. The Merkaba, an upright, three-dimensional triangle merged with a downward-pointing three-dimensional triangle, a diagram of the divine ethereal meeting the earthly material, embodied in our plane of existence. This is one way to describe a moment of inspiration, where a thought is translated to matter through the intention of a living being. A word is a thought, but it has a component of matter. Ink upon pulp, a scratch in the earth, on a stone, light cast by metals through a translucent material, someone to speak it into a wave of air. It too has a body that can be killed, but it has a spirit that transcends a single body. Pages. Thank you. I have a few more short stanzas. These are written in poetic prose stanzas. And it's a story that occurs over multiple lifetimes and different manifestations. So these are thoughts that come from different places in a person, in a being's existence. Pages, a globe, tree of life, a person in words, glowing splinters showering forth. An icon takes hold in what it represents, while names disappear as thoughts travel. It doesn't require any stretch of faith to feel it as sure as knowing it, that lending herself to this will not go unheralded in some way. This way is well beyond her own self. It made her glad. Vision of the mind's eye. To perceive, to receive, to observe, to record, to note, to remember. She had bad vision, which meant she couldn't see details. But then the details couldn't get in the way, and she was able to spy the sunny, flower-filled glade, colors radiant and fizzing. The trees in the way reduced to twigs, figments. This way, there's something there. Not all vision works the same way. Not everyone dreams in the same manner. One can see what another cannot, and the other can see something else. And until exhaustion. That was one way she learned how to build endurance, was to purposefully do something to exhaustion. When she chose the right things to do, it was easy. It demanded her best, the most of her, and exhaustion would fall upon her task of highest priority. Writing did it. It was different from taxing the muscles, but deeper somehow, or just as deep, felled like a tree upon the next word. The sleep was sweet, and the dreams were great. She couldn't deny what it did to her life, gaining her voice through her medium. So she used her voice to give others voice, declaring that one may declare. It lifted a great weight, and at times it was a great weight, but never one that she could not lift with the growing strength of her voices, and those voices she strengthened. The zeitgeist can really kill a person. That's one way to take them down. The feedback through the microphone, the channel static, not what's supposed to come across. They murdered her in the pale light, yet the repose was sweet as the transmission continued. Voice to paper through the fingers. With all the messages, the tales, the truths, the facts to be told, why would she choose to fabricate imaginary stories known as fiction? There were different truths there to be found in different ways, through transcendent recognition, caught like a fish and not like an arrow. It wasn't the same kind of warring, and it was for joy as well as sagacity. The flow of it unaimed and like a fountain, for whoever chose to step inside. This flew from her and pressed itself dearly to the page. Within the shelter of her protected self, she allowed herself to hope for everything. Outside were the rages and the darkness, but from inside the light shone through, and there was softness and another breath, until that too winked out of existence. To have one's actions idealized beyond one's form, the dissipation of identity and the semi-permanence of effect, deniable proof and incontrovertible consequence, transubstantiation of a pure ideal from aggregations of complexified simplicity. What does it mean, and what does it matter? At some point, she stopped asking why, and became a purpose. For what it was worth, for all that it was worth. For as long as anything at all remained, that would. The departure, the vanishing trace, saying goodbye, leaving of place. Fractured, bent, illuminated, old light that's traveled far. Stray photon, fossil's breath. And this is the last one I have for us. Vividness, dreaming, and clarity. Wind on skin, sun-heated sand. Flight, sensation, reality. This trace could remain for someone to remember by becoming again. If it doesn't, then once it did, before becoming another moment in another time.
Thank you. And you have something published that maybe we can find?
This is Bones of Starlight. It has a free version online, but it's also available through booksellers. If not on the shelf, then it can be obtained. And I also have some tag slaps. If anyone wants to come up and get one. I'm over there.
Thank you. That was beautiful. All right.